Hello all. In the previous video, we learned about cardiovascular system. For the video link, please refer the description box below. There is a subdivision in the circulatory system known as the lymphatic system. In this video, we will talk about lymphatic system. The fluid that flows through lymphatic system is known as lymph. Lymph contains white blood cells, mainly lymphocytes. They attack the bacteria present in the blood. Lymph flows through lymphatic capillaries and lymphatic vessels. There are some organs that help in the production and development of lymphocytes. They are known as primary lymphoid organs. They are bone marrow and thymus. There are secondary lymphoid organs that help in the further maturation and activation of lymphocytes. They are spleen and lymph nodes. Other than this, there are tertiary lymphoid organs. They are abnormal lymph nodes present in the peripheral tissues at the site of chronic inflammation. Let's learn in detail about each of them. Lymph contains proteins, fats, salts, glucose, water and white blood cells. There is a special version of lymph that transport fats from intestine into the blood. It is known as chyle. This fluid from intestine is milky owing to the presence of fatty acids which is absorbed from the diet. This chyle drains into the thoracic duct and from there it enters the subclavian vein and then into the bloodstream. Lymph flows through lymphatic vessels and capillaries. They are similar to blood vessels. You can say arteries, veins and blood capillaries. Lymphatic capillaries are slightly bigger than blood capillaries. They are lined by endothelial cells and they are highly permeable. These lymphatic capillaries drains into large lymphatic vessels. Lymphocytes are cells of immune system. Lymphocytes include natural killer cells, T cells and B cells. Natural killer cells are cells from innate immunity. That means they come into action within hours of the presence of an antigen or a foreign material in our body. T cell or T lymphocytes are cells of cell-mediated immunity. They do not involve antibodies. B cells involved in the antibody-driven immunity. B cells produce antibodies specific to antigens. They become activated only when they come into contact with an antigen. These lymphocytes are produced and developed by primary lymphoid organs. There are two primary lymphoid organs, bone marrow and thymus. Bone marrow creates T cells and help in the production and maturation of B cells. They are the cells of immune system. From bone marrow, B cells enter the circulatory system and from there it goes to the secondary lymphoid organs. On the other hand, T cells travel from bone marrow into thymus where they get mature. Thymus is an organ that is situated just behind the sternum and above and in front of the heart. Thymus helps in the maturation of T lymphocytes. The lack of thymus leads to severe immunodeficiency. Those people are highly susceptible to infections. There are secondary lymphoid organs that help in the further maturation and activation of lymphocytes. There are two secondary lymphoid organs. They are spleen and lymph nodes. Spleen is located in the left side of the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm. It actually filters blood. When blood enters spleen, it removes the waste materials like foreign materials, bacteria, and it activates the immune response, thereby producing antibodies. Spleen produce and store these lymphocytes. Lymph nodes are small bean-shaped masses of lymphoid tissue enclosed in a capsule of connective tissue. Lymph nodes filter lymph and trap the antigens and foreign materials. These antigens are exposed to the cells of immune system for destruction. Lymph nodes are present in the major junction of lymphatic vessels. They contain major regions like outer connective tissue contain capsule, cortex and medulla. Cortex contain inactivated T and B lymphocytes. Medulla contain large blood vessels, sinuses, medullary cords. These medullary cords contain cells like antibody secreting plasma cells, B cells and macrophages. Now let's see how this lymphatic system works. Unlike the cardiovascular system, the lymphatic system in humans is not closed. It is a sewerage system of our body. It maintains the body fluid level by removing the fluids that leak out from the blood vessels. We know that the cardiovascular system carries blood through blood capillaries. Around 20 liters of blood is filtered in the cardiovascular system per day. The plasma that contains nutrients is out into the body tissues through the arterial end of the capillaries, and the interstitial fluid that contains waste is absorbed through the venous end of the capillaries. But only 17 liters of plasma is absorbed like this. The remaining 3 liters is still there in the body tissues. Here the lymphatic system come into action. The lymphatic capillaries absorb these 3 liters and then drains into the lymphatic vessels and then into the bloodstream. The lymphatic capillaries is lined with endothelial cells. They are highly permeable. When the pressure inside the interstitial fluid is high, these cells open and allow the fluid to get inside the capillaries. Once the fluid is inside the capillaries, the pressure inside goes up and then the cells get sealed to prevent the backflow of the fluid. Once the fluid is inside the capillaries, it is known as lymph. From these capillaries, the lymph drains into larger lymphatic vessels. Along these lymphatic vessels, there are present lymph nodes. These lymph nodes contain lymphocytes. Lymph nodes filter lymph and separate the unwanted things like bacteria and cancer cells, and these lymphocytes fight against these unwanted things. From there, the lymph passes into the bloodstream through lymphatic ducts. From left side of the body, lymph enters into the thoracic duct. Lymph enters into the thoracic duct, then into left subclavian vein and then into the blood. The lymph from right side of the body enters the right subclavian vein through the right lymphatic duct. That's it for today. If you like this video, please share it with your friends. If you have any queries, put it in the comment box. Thank you.